All right, welcome back, guys. Sean here with Blue Ridge Silverhound. We got the Pocket Change Market Report. This is for June 6th, 2024. It's the 7th, but this is all data going all the way up to yesterday, Wednesday, the 6th. So we're a little day late in getting this out, but at least we're getting it out for you. Um, Guys, prices are really high right now. A lot of people are paying what I consider to be some pretty legit money here. From what I've seen, anywhere from 2 to 3 times what the traditional market value has always been. I don't know what in the world's going on, but just want to let you guys know prices are on the upswing for a lot of coins. There is honestly probably 2 coins on a list of about 25, 26 lots listings that I talk about today that are $20 and less. Everything else is higher than that. Now, I wasn't being very picky or choosy, just, trying to find the most expensive stuff. Oh no. This is all stuff from like the last 24 hours. It's a very tight window of time, but there was so much market activity going on right now for any sort of legit mid-error or die variety that you find. Those double to dies, repunchment marks, things of that sort. And we have more of the tougher to find things that are coming out right now that people are looking for and successfully finding. We're finding that some of the older coins that people are cherry picking, it's coin show season right now. We got the Long Beach Expo this weekend, among a few others. I was just at a coin show this past Saturday or this past Sunday, and it was really insane. So the market is kind of hyped up to this whole new level right now. Now I can't speak for the Long Beach Expo. I'm not going to be there. I can only tell you from a local level and from what we're going to experience at the Northeast Oklahoma Coin Show, which I will be set up at in Tulsa. It's going to be anybody's guess, because a small local show might be pretty busy, but a large national show like a Long Beach or a Florida Fun or a Baltimore Whitman or any of those kind of higher caliber shows might paint a completely different picture. I really don't know. But from what I can see with my optics using the eBay world, which is kind of like the national coin show that runs all year round. I mean, it's the best barometer check, bar none, for market data. So we're going to look at that today. It's going to be pretty wild and intense, as we go through all the coins here. Again, if you want to look to make some extra money, and you don't need the coins in your collection, you might want to consider doing that right now. All right, but again, this is for the legitimate stuff. The smaller minor things and all that probably need not apply. It's the coins that are very progressive in today's market that people are looking for, cherry pickers guide varieties, things like that. That's making a huge impact. Another thing making a huge impact is the platform Whatnot. They have never been more busier. We have finally hit 10,000 followers thanks to your guys' help. I recently announced on Tuesday's auction show what we're going to be giving away. A lot of premier, what I call prospecting material, equipment to feed your needs by the company called Garrett. We have a couple of gold panty kits we're going to be giving away. We got a couple of AT Pro Pointer pinpointers that we're going to be giving away. And of course, the gem of it all, we are also going to be giving away a brand new model of Garrett's AT Pro on our show on June 21st. And that's going to be on Whatnot. So, I would say if you can, bookmark the page, save the date. It's going to be an absolute barn burner. It's going to be unprecedented. No one else on the platform has done a giveaway of this magnitude. I'm going to be the first one to deliver, and we're going to get you guys some equipment. Some lucky winners are going to be able to enjoy their summer a little bit more when they're able to go out into the river and do some gold panning. It's going to be awesome. So we got 2 shows this week. We had one on Tuesday, June 4th. We have our next show tomorrow, June 7th, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's supposed to say Eastern. I can't believe I didn't even fix that yet. But in any event, we'll be on tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Pacific. And I would say, it's this Gold Rush giveaway on the 21st is open to everyone that follows. So all you have to do, sign up on this great, phenomenal platform. You could use the referral link I have down below in the description box. That'll get you $15 in usable credit right away on any item that you purchase, whether it's from me or one of the other streamers on the platform. All right, so come check things out. We got this big giveaway, and we're gonna make this summer even more hotter with this Gold Rush event coming up here real soon. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and jump right in. Starting out with this 1974D Lincoln Memorial set. And this thing has been all around eBay. I don't know where these new ones are coming from. I would suspect that a couple of mint-sewn bags were opened up. All right, and more of these have been pouring out into the market. Now, what are we exactly looking at here? If you look at the word trust on the obverse, that's the front of the coin, you're going to see a large blob right there. That's what they call a cut die break. A piece of the die that was used to create this coin had actually fractured, cracked, and fallen out. So there's an empty cavity in the die at some point. So when the coins are minted, when they're struck, there's a tremendous amount of pressure involved. The metal of the blank planchet, it moves, it contorts, it does everything it needs to do. And as you would guess, if there's a hole in the die somewhere, all of that metal flow is going to go into that area. The path of least resistance is what I like to call it. So this particular seller, and this is kind of like a testament to how many of these are out there in the open market, this seller was selling a pair of these, the same type in brilliant red mid-state condition. So people had the opportunity to purchase two of these in one lot. $55.25 was what the selling price was. It was actually a buy it now hit that someone had done, and they now own two examples of this coin. That is a legitimate error, but yeah, there's quite a few of them out there. Our next one that we have here is actually a lot of 5 off-center struck Lincoln Memorial cents. Okay, so these were all offered us a lot, for some reason or another. I usually tell folks, hey, if you're going to shop around on eBay with the prospect of finding something that you could resell on eBay on your own account and really make an impact, it's going to be bulk lots. And 5 coins hardly seems like quote unquote bulk, but it really is. It's anything over 1 coin is considered in quantity. So we have 5 off-center struck coins here. Also wanted to add that each one of these weighed in at 2.5 grams. So they are post 1982 compositions, which are copper coated zincons. And they don't have any readable dates. So real quick, the 5 coins that you see here sold for $38.96. All right, which comes in at about under $8 per coin. So what's kind of like the power play here? Well, if it were me, if I found this, I would buy it up and sell each one as a buy it now for $19.99. All right, you pay for the shipping, which is really easy. You just go ahead and do the plain white envelope auction service for the shipping, and that's doable even on coins. It'll cost around $1.10 to do the shipping, so you have to take that off the top. But your fees will be less too because it's under $20. So by the time you're said and done, you should be able to 2x your money here after fees, after shipping. The coins might hang around for a month or two as they, kind of like sell one at a time. But keep in mind, guys, if you're in this for the long haul, you're in it to be in business for yourself. You're going to have to keep track of the money. The profit will roll in. It all goes into the same bucket, and you treat it as such. And that's how you can become successful. That's how you could easily supplement your normal 9-to-5 income. It's lots like these that people are pursuing in the hopes of building some sort of e-commerce platform. Either it's on a small level or on a much deeper level that's more corporate than anything else. This is one of those perfect lots to keep an eye out. I have another massive one in this particular PCMR that we're going to talk about. It'll just blow your minds. And I can't believe a lot of people passed over this one. All right, well, there was a fair amount of paper money also here this week. Okay, again, it's more of a testament that coins aren't the only thing that people are paying attention to. The collecting community at large is also targeting really neat paper money errors. This is a 1974 $10 bill. As you can tell, it's missing a digit on both serial number lines. Okay, it's the same digit too. This is what they normally refer to as insufficient inking. Okay, the inks kind of shares the same well on these particular areas, and as you can see, the same number is missing on both. It's actually pretty remarkable. Now, something like this can be graded as an insufficient inking error. This particular note sold for $180.55. Which is a pretty tremendous amount of money. I've actually seen these sell for less. So again, the market for paper money errors starting to creep upwards as well. Kind of like this good old saying, the rising tides also rise all the ships as well. Pretty good premise there on that, and paper money is one of those ships. We also have a really nice clean reverse, just really showing very minimal type of wear and tear on this one. Surprisingly, it has circulated a little bit, albeit a little bit, not too much. But you could see a few folds and, things like that on there. And we also have this one also from the same seller, a 1981 $5 bill. Oh boy, check out the overprint on this. Gross misalignment, shifted all the way to the right and up. And also a little insufficient inking as well. If you look at the top right serial number and the green district seal, you're going to find as quite a bit faded, all right, which, normally means that area of the plate not getting as much ink and it needs to be filled and serviced. So on something like this, there's a few areas of staining and foxing and things like that. This note still managed to sell for $205.55. Both notes selling as a buy it now. Again, you could certainly do that yourself to protect the value of the note and to get the money that you really want for it. It's pretty cool. When we look at the reverse of this note, very clean. I would say this one, as far as the overall paper quality, looks better than the previous note. But keep in mind, there's a few stains on there, which ultimately diminishes the grade a spot. We also have this 1983 P Washington quarter, struck off center, probably by about 10%. Nothing too crazy. And it's a relatively common date for this particular error type. Now, you see the coin is in pretty good shape. I'd say it's a pretty high grade. It's not really representative with these photos, but there are certain things you could see that, there's not a lot of contact marks on the coin. So it was found very early on. This one sold for $28, and that's with 3 bids. And always a fun thing to search through. Indian head cents, one of my favorite U.S. type coins to hunt through for a myriad of reasons. Now, 1869 is a really tough date to begin with. All right, it's one that's very expensive. Even if you're looking for a lower grade example, expect to pay anywhere from $30 to $50, and one that's about good condition. Now, this one, however, also there's a few really gnarly repunch dates you can find on this one. But the reason why this one's here, ladies and gentlemen, is that huge cut die break on the reverse. It's right there about 5-6 o'clock on the reverse. Piece of the die, again, cracked, fell out. That's something that's quite standard on Indian head cents and a few others that are much older than this. But look out for things like this. It actually enhances the value of even older coins and more key specific type coins like the 69 Indian head, still propelling it into a whole other level. Like this one, in its current condition, sold for $135. All right, so again, the older type material getting tons of love, as you would expect, and I don't see this changing anytime soon. This is actually one that probably a lot of you aren't very familiar with. It's the 1857 Flying Eagle cent. It's the debut edition of what we call today the small cents. Okay, the transition point was actually 1857. We went from the braided hair large cent into this coin. which wasn't really well received. But they are highly collectible today. They're very expensive across all grades, to right around fine and up. People are looking for problem-free examples. Now, this coin didn't sell because it's a truly marvelous example. I'd say it's like a VF 2025. It's actually a very rare die variety type. This is actually the obverse of 1856, which, as some of you know, is a proof only date. They didn't make regular business strike coins in 1856. So, how are you going to tell if you have this rare FS 401 obverse of 56? It's going to be in the letter O of the word of on the front of the coin, United States of America. So when you look at it, okay, it's going to look a little crude, a little out of shape, like you see this one here. The inside is also going to be kind of like out around. It's going to look more like kind of like a soft rectangular shape with rounded corners on it, which is what this one is. So quite remarkable that this one was found. It's not a particularly easy variety to look out for, but I will implore you guys, if you are hunting for Flying Eagle cents and you find this one, you could essentially take a coin that is worth in the ballpark of about $50 to $60 and sell it for this particular price, $321.98. It's a very hotly pursued variety for a typeset where only a couple dates exist. All right, so make sure you're looking out for the obverse of 1856 if you are a shopper of these rare Flying Eagle cents. Now, another thing that people do collect, it's not typically known as a mint error because it didn't happen during the actual striking or minting process, but we also have what we call packaging errors. Here's a 1960 mint set. Mint sets normally come with Philadelphia and Denver coins in their own blisters. The Philadelphias have the blue stripe. The Denver has the red. And, early 60s, they packaged them up like this. Now, they're supposed to have one plastic Denver mint kind of like token, all right? This one has two. Whoever packaged it up packaged one extra plastic token in with the quarter in this one, which is crazy. Now, typically, a full mint set of 1960s, will generally run you about $50, okay? It's nothing too crazy or, wild or anything like that, but if you're able to find a packaging error like this, and it hasn't been tampered with, you could sell for a little extra money. Like this one sold a nickel shy of $40. $39.95 is what it sold for. So, while packaging errors isn't truly a minting error, it's a type of error that, there are some collectors that will pursue things like this. So pretty cool to see one here. It would be always good to see this mated up with the original Philadelphia set in its original envelope and sell it as a full package. I know more people prefer that rather than just buying one half of the set. All right, we have one that me personally I've never found, and it's on a bucket list of like cherry picks that I actually wanted to find myself. 1971S Lincoln Memorial cent, and yes, it is a proof coin. However, this is one of the biggest double to dies on proof Lincoln Memorial cents that you will ever come across because prices are very expensive on this coin. Now, make sure you look at every single proof set. They're actually quite cheap. They're under $10 today. It should be a really easy hunt through. So this one right here is the FS 102. There's actually a 101 as well, and they're both quite majestic. So take a look at a few of the hot spots on the coin. That's including Liberty and the motto "In God We Trust." I mean, you wouldn't have to be a rocket scientist to realize that there's some hubdoubling going on here. I mean, this is again one of the better, most powerful double to dies that you'll ever come across, and they are quite valuable. Now, this one was sold raw. Can you imagine how much it would sell for if it was graded? This one sold for $625. And again, I'm willing to bet probably 80% of you out there listening and watching this video right now probably don't even know that this one exists. And, it's okay to feel sick in your stomach if you've actually sold a number of these or had gotten rid of them because they have no silver in them. That's truly understandable without looking for the double die. I probably have a long time ago. And it wasn't until I saw one in a cherry picker's guide many moons ago before I began to have that sick feeling in my stomach. Always a good one here. Off-center struck coins on any type is awesome. But when we get into the older popular stuff like Mercury dimes, boy, man, it elevates it to a whole new level. We have a 1942 Mercury dime. It's off-center by about 25%. It's remarkable. Look at this thing. Um, it does have a few scratches on the reverse, so we can't completely dismiss some of the problem areas. It's a net details coin. This particular one sold for $183.86 with 3 bids. So there were a few people battling it out to get and own this one. And this one right here, quite subtle, but clash dies on Roosevelt dimes, if it's strong enough, are remarkable. They are some of the craziest errors to look for. This one here is actually a 1989 Philadelphia. You can see the clashing right in front of Roosevelt's face. And how clashings occur, folks, is that the dies at one point had made contact with each other. And the big reason why this occurs is that a blank planchet in error was never sent into the striking chamber. I kind of lost my train of thought there. So there was no planchet to strike. So, with that being said, the dies clash together upon one action. So it, leaves its design on the opposite dies, and then when it strikes other coins, you get this really cool effect. On the reverse, you actually have a lined profile of Roosevelt that you could see under the olive leaves and the torch and all that great stuff. So this one right here, this is one of the cheaper coins that did sell. It was actually a buy it now hit at $16.30. I believe there was some shipping in there to make it kind of an oddball amount. There was also a problem with this coin. I think it was like either cleaned or something like that. It could have sold for a lot more money, but even problem coins, they do have, some audiences out there for people that really want them. And boy, oh boy, yes, it's been a little while since we talked about the Extra V 2023 Lincoln Shields. And we have this one that ended up selling. The coin is actually in really nice shape. Now, I'm going to ask you guys, because we've seen quite a few of these sell, and we've seen a number of them sell in that $30 to $40 range. They still have a little bit of relevancy. People are buying these or sending them off to the grading companies to get graded. And that's kind of like the big hot seller point of these, is that you can make money off of it. Now, would you guys agree that this one sold for $110 with 20 bids? 20 bids? Would you feel like that's worth it for this? I mean, good job by the seller. He or she made a grip of cash on this one, but based off of where we're seeing the price trends, these things are going to drop a lot more before it gets better. And that's more of a case of, the nicer quality condition coins that really matter most to the flippers. We're starting to see less and less of those. All right. So this is like one of the nicer ones we've seen. Does it guarantee a grade above, say, mid-state 64 or 65? It really doesn't, but it's very interesting to see the kind of like the pricing grid and graphs of this coin. It's like still all over the place. A coin, just out of the blue would sell for $60, $70. Another one would sell for $25. This one sold for $110. Something to keep an eye out on. Again, I mean, these are what I consider to be the hot potatoes of the coin market today. If you got them, I would say get rid of them. The prices are going to just continue to drop off. And if you have nicer condition pieces, I would say either grade them and unload them, or just unload them, altogether. It's one that is quite controversial today. Nobody really knows if it's truly a mint error, but is certainly one to continue to keep an eye on. There's a little bit of a close-up. You could see kind of a matching similar V mark right next to VDB's initials there. It's eerily similar. There is a little bit of difference, but overall, it's pretty close. Whoa, where's the overprint on this one? I don't know. Well, that's exactly why this one's here. It's a 1985 small head 20. Yeah, the overprint never got applied. Again, that's due in error. Usually, these things are generally found out by a BEP employee through the quality control process. It didn't here. This one ended up getting packaged up in a BEP pack and sent out into the world as we know it. It's even circulated a little bit. You could see some of the distressing and folds in there, which again, it's a real head shaker why this one would even circulate through a few hands. This one sold for $375. Let that stick with you a little bit. It's a very expensive error. Here's a 73 Lincoln Memorial Cent. Quite a bit of carbon on this one. It's not the fanciest, but you know, we can't really argue by the fact that there's a little bit of a cut die break at the base of Lincoln's bust, right there at about 6 to 7 o'clock, that area. You can see that raised metal. So this one, another surprising one. I think that's more of a because it's a tougher date. It's a rarity of sorts that we don't see out in the marketplace. And it ended up selling for $60. Again, I've continued to use the moniker Cuds are Kings because they continue to outperform the market at a base raw ungraded kind of level, and it blows my mind. Here is a full bank strap of $1 bills. Okay, these are all 2017A. These are BEP packs, and I'll show you what you have to look out for. Now, it's a full strap of 100 notes. They're all consecutive, as you would guess. These have a slightly misaligned overprint. You can see the green district seal right above one. They're all shifted just a hair, and that might be what's contributed to the sale of this one today. So you can see this one says BEP right on the paper strap sleeve. And it'll say moneyfactory.gov, which is the main website, get more information on what the BEP does. And really cool interactive videos too. If you haven't seen them, check them out. So this one right here, $157. So, this person didn't make a ton of money. They'll end up profiting about $30 to $32 after fees and shipping. So, again, not too bad. Better than a sharp stick in the eye, I would say. And here's one that time had forgotten, but now this one is back on the limelight. Well, just one example, 2021P, Tuskegee Airmen with the burning building strike through. So if you look on the reverse where the Tuskegee Airmen headquarters is, you can see what looks to be smoke coming off the building. It's actually a strike through of grease and debris. That was on the die, probably due to the feeder finger hitting and making contact with the top of that die, pushing around a little bit of grease. So this one right here, surprisingly, $54 sale, man. These things dropped all the way down to like $20-$30 at one point, and this was like not too long ago. This one, really surprising sale, although I will say it was a buy it now hit, and a good one to preserve the value here. Here's a 1993 $1 bill that features a gutter fold there on the left side. You can see that omitted printed area there. It was a wrinkle in the sheet, and it was printed over, and that's how these things are created. All right, so you could also see the left side margin is non-existent because of the weird shape of the paper when it had the wrinkle in there. So this one, as you can see on the reverse, there's no gutter because the wrinkle was pressed out when the reverse print was applied. All right, pretty simple. So this one right here, ladies and gentlemen, $129.99, which is roughly 2 times what all of them have been selling for about 60 days ago. Right. Like, I'm not dreaming things here. Even simple menial gutter folds like this, it's one gutter, still ended up selling for a huge amount of money. And I used to see these things at like $60. So even paper money largely affected by this wild burgeoning market that we're in right now. 97 Lincoln Memorial. My goodness, I have always wanted to find one of these. It's always good to see one that is actually in relatively good shape. This one has plenty of mint red all throughout. Very little wear on there. A few little spots and nicks and things, but this is a mainline variety. It's the FS101 double to die obverse. It's a what we call the doubled ear variety. So when we look up close, you see the bottom of the earlobe there. It's got a doubled earlobe. That's what that is there. On a regular one, there would be no doubled earlobe. It would be a very smaller, thinner earlobe. And not only that, you could also see doubling at the back of the ear too, where it meets the hair. So this one right here is $69.36 was the sale price here on this one. Pretty good, for its condition, and kind of like what I call like a 5 out of 10 type variety for desirability. So yeah, pretty good one. And I can't even believe that this one is selling for this kind of money. We all know the homestead quarters. There's a lot of great stuff to find on these. The snowy roofs, the double pump handle, the leaky bucket, ladies and gents, what we have here, which is simply a die chip at the bottom of the bucket. All right, so I have found dozens of these things, and this one even has a die chip underneath the pedestal of the water pump. So it's quite remarkable, that something like this ended up selling for $21.16, while it's like one of the lower price items on today's PCMR. It's a glaring kind of like trend. It's like some of the fringy nicknamed type of anomalies are like performing as well as some of the legit varieties and US Mint errors. Kind of wild. So when I'm telling you, look out for the leaky bucket. It will earn you some guap. That's awesome. 1962D Jefferson nickel, another tough one here. This one actually, you can see where the cut die break is at the base of Jefferson's bust. That's normally where Felix Schleg's initials would sit at. He's a designer of this nickel. That's a main weak stress area on the dies that crack and break all the time. This one sold for $49.77 with 5 bids. Now, why am I like giving this one more attention than it deserves? Yeah, these generally sell for about half that because these are kind of like the more minor cut die breaks. So they're usually like $25. But again, nothing is very typical right now. Everything is outperforming each other, and you gotta kind of love that. Another neat one here. This one actually is a high graded piece. We usually don't see too many like nice high grade coins of this level. It's got a little bit of a die clash on the obverse. You can actually see in the back of Kennedy's neck. It looks like an employee attempted to clean it up a little bit in front of his face. That's why you see all the little die file lines all over the place. Now, that's not the reason why this is here. This one is here because it's got the missing Gasparo initials on the reverse. All right, so 82P, 72D are the kind of like the two main dates to find the missing initials reverse. They are cherry pickers guide varieties, and I'd like to announce that this one, as common as it is, sold for $43.98. So I have a few of these at this kind of grade level. I am even thinking about selling them because the money is just really too good right now. Just a 1943 Steely with a couple very shallow sheet clips. You can see the two clips there on the left side of the coin if you're looking at the front. Pretty. I mean, it's pretty minor. Whether it's one clip, two clips, and or that shallow, they don't have a lot of curvature to it. So you guys would be pretty shocked to know that this one ended up selling for $58.67 with 14 bids. All right, so again, another great sale here, and keep an eye out for these. These are really not that hard to find. 1977 Washington Quarter. Again, this one's off center by about 15%. Really nice grade. Again, this is one that's going to end up in some date set. That's how these are collected. $61 with 13 bids. Again, even these things are shooting up in price. All right, and the big kind of like banging one here, that as far as lot is concerned, is 5 rolls of modern copper plated zinc type 2 blank planchets. 250 of them is how many was sold in this solid one lot right here. All right, here's a little bit of a look at what some of them look like. Now, I call them type 2 because they have the upset rims on them. They're ready for striking. The type 1s don't have that raised kind of cup to it on the rim there. So you can imagine 250. How much would you guys pay for something like this? Well, as it turns out, this person paid $1 per planchet. $255.99 was the sale price on all 250 blanks. I know a lot of people that sell these for between $5 and $10 routinely, and they'll sell the crap out of them. So let's say on a low end, you sell these things for $5 a piece, you charge 99 cents for shipping, you're going to 5x your money. I mean, this is a no-brainer buy right here. And even if you sit on them for 6 months to a year as you go through them, there is not a perfect world out there where you can just routinely just pop these things off for $4.99, on eBay, and just rake in the dough. You don't even have to be splashy. You don't even have to be at like $7.99 or $9.99. You can do whatever that you want as far as the pricing is concerned, but from like the most minimal kind of like affordability, $4.99, charge 99 cents for shipping, and you are gonna cash in, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't know if one of my viewers caught this one and just is going to benefit in a huge way, but man, what a massive score this is. All right, that's going to go ahead and wrap things up for this video. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. Man, as you can see, the market is just nutso right now. Information provided in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Okay, I always got to throw that out there. Please do collect and or grade responsibly. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I hope that this video brings you a ton of inspiration as we hit the summer months and you're trying to figure out, boy, what am I going to do with all this dead time? Well, by golly, go to the banks, buy some bank rolls, go on eBay, do some cherry picking, find stuff that people had dropped the ball on, and then cash in. All right, make it a business to enhance your business, and then you would have no problem at all. I'm your host, Sean with Blue Ridge. I want to thank you guys again. For those of you that are going to be attending the Tulsa, Oklahoma show, I hope to see you guys then. Outside of that, I want to wish you guys a really great rest of your week. Have a great weekend. We'll be on for another couple more shows this weekend, believe you me. And I'll see you guys later. All right, carry on, guys. Go for the hunt.